This podcast is brought to you by the Anime Addicts community, and if you want to join the community and help out the show, you can go to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon. If you want to join the Discord, you can go to AAA Discord. I really recommend everybody join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. There's always events happening. I feel like there's like at least one event every day of some kind happening on there. So AAADiscord.com if you want to join the community and be a part of the fun. And now it's time to start the show.
皆さんこんにちは。アニメアディクツアノニマスのライブブロードキャストを聞いていただきます。You are listening to the...
Oh, I always wanted to do this. Sorry, little cat girl. Moe Maho magic?
Meow, meow.
Ha ha, go play with your little toys.
Meow.
On this most auspicious of days, I, Anime Satan himself, will be introducing the podcast. Ha 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 ha. Live from Anime Hell. Welcome to the 666th episode, ooh, I love that number, of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your moe addiction worse over at AAApodcast.com. Alright, Anime Addicts hosts, give them hell.
Welcome into the podcast, episode 666. It's the big one. I am your host, Mitsugi, and I have a good feeling about today. It's going to be hot, real hot. And we're joined by Caroline. How is she doing today?
Hello. I'm doing pretty well. I'm very excited over this wonderful milestone that we have hit. I mean, the 100th, 200th, the 500th, and the 600th episodes have nothing compared to number 666.
They don't got shit.
Can't believe I'm here in my lifetime to experience this.
and we also have Mason. He's in good spirits. How you doing, Mason?
I am. A devilishly good day to everyone. We are here to make your fiendish addiction to anime even more hellish. And yeah, the second we got into the episode 600s, I was like, we're coming. There. It's going to happen. And we've reached the promised land. And I'm bracing for the impact of what we have in store.
We also have our special guest today, Anime Satan, so thanks for being here.
Yeah, you know, I didn't actually think that you'd ever make it to episode 666. I don't think very many podcasts make it that far, but since you did, I thought I might as well come up from Anime Hell, put my big boy pants on, and give you a big fucking congratulations by being on board for the show, so happy to be here.
Now, Mitsugi, does Anime Satan, does he have to take an Uber to get here, or is there a train from the pit of hell that he could take?
No, not really.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right, so I have a new flavor of Monster today. I'm very excited about this. I just saw it today at the store. It's called Strawberry Dreams. I'm going to taste it here.
Live
reaction. Of course he's going with the red one on this day.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Are you dreaming of strawberries?
Ultra Strawberry Dreams. Anyway, guys, thanks for being on Twitch. If you want to watch us on Twitch, twitch.tv/AAA podcast. Sundays, 5 p.m. Eastern. So join us. Join the Discord over at AAADiscord.com. Honestly, if you're on a phone right now and you have Discord and you haven't typed that link in to just go straight to the Discord, you hurt my feelings. You know, honestly, I cry every night. I know there's a lot of you. And, you know, that's aside the point. We also have Chitin, who's been tearing it up on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Caroline's been dancing like a magical girl, like a maid over on TikTok. You can check that out. Check out our TikTok.
If I had a nickel where I dressed up as a maid for a TikTok video, I would have 2 nickels.
Oh, wow. Well, you can't buy anything with that, I'm sorry to say. And if you want to buy, speaking of Caroline and Mason are both hard at work on the merchandise store. So AAAshop.info will take you to the merch store. So
the waifu and husbando shirts are coming, people.
Oh, yes, very excited. Very excited.
And the winners of our dating game will be the first to get them.
That, of course. Yeah. So definitely. Don't I have a clip of someone screaming in here?
What?
Yeah, there we go. Very excited.
Yep, that's them.
All right, guys. So AAAshop.info. And if you want to vote for the anime Oscars, this is probably like getting close to your last opportunity. So vote anime.life. A lot of links here, I know. Play it back if you need to get the URLs. But you can still vote for the Anime Oscars at voteanime.life. But that link is also halfway down the page on AAApodcast.com. So you can just go to our homepage if you want to hit all of that.
Or you could go to YouTube. All the links are there. Or you could be a subscriber and get our show notes, which not only gets us the links, or gets you the links, but gets us the juicy behind-the-scenes text behind everything we're going to say. We're just reading a script off here. This is not original in the slightest.
And Kaiden set up a link tree, so if you go to any of our
Yes.
socials, you should have the link tree right there, and it'll send you everywhere that we have mentioned. The Discord, the merch shop, our website, and all the other places. Yes. So
Just
you can,
do it, or someday you're going to find yourself in hell being Satan's bitch.
as Anime Satan said, it's all that easy. So shall we discuss what we're doing today?
Why don't you let them know, Caroline?
Well, today, in honor of our very special milestone, we are discussing the best devils and demons in anime. Yeah, it's going to be great. And we have our rotating segment and the review of Akiba Maid War. How appropriate for
Oh my god.
this devilish episode to have moe girls being as brutal as possible with guns and blood.
All right, well, without further ado, are you guys ready to find out what we have in store for the big news of the week?
Let's do it.
It's time for big news of the week.
Well, it's very sad. This podcast just keeps rolling along, and people get older and older, and there's people do pass away, unfortunately. And Reiji Matsumoto passed away recently at age 85. He died of acute heart failure in a hospital in Tokyo. So Reiji Matsumoto is like one of the building blocks somewhere in the base of the house for manga. He's got a lot of manga out there. Started his career in 1954 with Honeybee's Adventure in Manga Shonen magazine, and has some pretty big hits, out there that people will probably recognize. Galaxy Express 999, Captain Harlock, Queen Emeraldus, Space Battleship Yamato, worked on that. And a lot of these have been made into anime, and just a very prolific and very famous manga creator. And, sad to see him go. He did make it to 85, so I'm sure he had a good life. But, always hard to see we're going to be having this conversation about Miyazaki one of these days. And I'm going to fucking cry.
Miyazaki's not human. He doesn't die.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he's a fucking robot. Anyway, do you guys have anything you want to say about Reiji Matsumoto?
I mean, honestly, he was someone who I always respected. He was always probably one of those like Mount Rushmore type anime figures for everything he did. He's just an icon of the industry. And yeah, obviously he wasn't producing stuff lately. It's not like everyone was waiting for his latest work, but damn, he influenced a lot of what came out around his time and what spawned after that. So huge name and big props.
Caroline, have you seen Galaxy Express 999?
I have not seen anything on the list.
That's right, eat that fucking jelly bean.
Yeah, he's right.
Okay, so I thought we were just referring to the manga, not the anime.
Well, there's also a Captain Harlock anime and a Space Battleship Yamato anime, so rack them up, girl. That's
all right.
A couple of Yamatos, right?
Couple of Yamatos.
3 jelly beans, then?
Yep. Couple, you're like four of them deep, so.
Well,
Can
for Anime
confirm,
Satan,
Reiji
I will.
Matsumoto, not an anime hell.
All right.
That's
Okay,
good.
3 jelly
That's
beans
good.
then. But I'll put these to the side because I think it's my turn.
Yeah, Caroline, what do you got for big news?
All right. Well, this weekend was the r/anime awards, and the way that it was set up, the awards are broken down to like 4 major categories. They have the main awards, the genre awards, the production awards, and the character awards. Each category had 8 to 10 nominations, half of which were decided by the jury, so like a curated group of anime fans, and the other half by the public vote. And in addition, each individual award includes one winner from the jury selection and the public vote. So if you'd like to go check out the live stream of the awards, you can go to animeawards.moe. And if for nothing else, to hear Mason and mine lovely voices, because we were guest presenters discussing the results of the action categories. So you can enjoy the awards and enjoy us in that one specific parts. But I figured we can go through some of the highlights of the awards here for the action category that I mentioned Mason and I were a part of. Both the jury and the public voted for Chainsaw Man as the winner. So there's that. I thought it was interesting. Oh, sorry. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Mason?
No, I was going to say not too surprising there. And if you go and listen to us, we talk for maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes on the stream. They will be releasing an unedited hypercut of the entire awards where you can find the full 50-minute conversation we had. So
what? They didn't leave in the entire discussion?
No, they cut it for brevity and probably our intelligence metering. But if you want to hear all of us, stay tuned also for some bonus content that will be coming if you want to hear all the thoughts we have about all the action shows we discussed. So more to come.
It was a good discussion.
Now, I know you guys plugged the podcast. I know you shilled very hard, right?
A little bit. I will mention, Caroline did name drop you on the live stream, and it made it into the final cut.
It might not... Well, it was about what constitutes as a good anime, whether the animation should play a big part in that, or if it looks good. Because I know I mentioned that you say a lot of the times that people like this just because it looks good. I was saying how that's irrelevant. So
you were like, Mitsugi's this fucking dumb shit. He doesn't know anything.
I didn't say it like that.
I was watching the chat. Some people were agreeing with you, Mitz. Mozilla Fennekin in our Tokyo Podfathers cast, he was like, common Mitsugi W. So you got your support.
I messes with him. That's right. Well, thanks
other
guys
than
for
the
doing
action
that.
Category, I thought it was interesting for the Anime of the Year category. While the public did vote for Bocchi the Rock, which is to be expected somewhat, the jury voted in Encouragement of the Climb Next Summit, which I have never heard of before.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've watched all of
it. I guess it's time for
a
jelly bean.
You don't need to remind me of my jelly beans, Mitsugi. And Mason, can you speak on that for a little bit? Because it's just surprising that something won.
It was very fun watching the spicy blowback, because not only did Encouragement of Climb win the jury poll, it came in last place in the public poll, which is very funny. But it was
last.
Last place. It's
that'll make people happy.
A Moe Blob show that kind of evolved over time from a weird experimental piece of very short episodes that was never meant for mass appeal to a bigger phenomenon, and just it excelled so much in the production and visuals and a lot of technical things that I think the jury really valued, and the public was just kind of like, this is a show about climbing. That's kind of boring. So very fun hearing the discussion one way or another, and it was a good time, and it was a well done stream, and we're lucky to be a part of it.
I'm sure
sorry, go ahead.
I'm sure they're also climbing the wimpiest mountains ever.
Japan.
Okay. No, they do a pretty good job of going through the technical aspects and different levels of Fuji, and obviously they're climbing in Japan. It's not the same hyper level that
83-year-old women climb Fuji.
Yeah, and these are 8.3-year-old.
Why are you being so critical?
Blobs.
You live in you get very close access to very high mountains. They have Fuji. Let's not be so critical.
Fuji's pretty tall, but it's kind of the only one.
So they're still climbing it.
They're trying their best.
All right.
I know.
That's funny though. The jury was like, "We don't give a fuck what you people think. Fuck you."
And that's why I like their award so much. Is you get such different perspectives from people who watch everything to the casual. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, in the another category, very similar results for the animation category. Jury voted for Encouragement of Climb. Public voted for Bocchi the Rock. Best OP was the Hadaka no Yusha OP from Ranking of Kings. The jury voted that in. And for public vote, they got a Kickback by Chainsaw Man. And there were a lot of other categories, of course. But if you want to check out the full list, they have the results on the website, and you can listen to the live stream as well.
All right, Mason. How about hot new releases?
Yeah, we got a couple hot new releases. We did the segment last week, but there's 2 more that have been announced since. This first one, Caroline, I'm actually interested in her feedback on, which is The Eminence in Shadow gets a 2nd season. They live streamed a special event to commemorate its final episode, and they announced the 2nd season is coming. The main staff will be returning, and the studio will remain Nexus. I did not review a debut date for the next season. We don't know when it's coming out, but do you feel excited for this? Do you think it needed more? Did you finish the first season yet?
Yeah, first season's all done. Very excited to watch a 2nd season. I'm not saying that The Eminence in Shadow is like the best show ever. There is certainly a lot of things that could be better about it. Because outside of the parts that I really liked, there were some, slower paced moments that were just good enough to keep me going. And I did fail it at first. It took me like 5 episodes to really see what was so good about it. But even so, I think there's a lot of fun stuff coming up in the anime that I'm excited to get into. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
So if someone has never seen Eminence in Shadow, would you recommend they watch it now? Or is there enough of like a cliffhanger at the end where they should be better off just waiting until the 2nd season comes out?
It didn't really leave off on like a crazy cliffhanger or anything like that.
So
and there were 20 episodes, so you do have a good amount to get into anyway. So if you want to watch it now, I would recommend it, or wait a little while, see what happens. But again, it's a bit slower paced, so it's not really one to binge, I don't think.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you. And the second hot new release we have is that Uma Musume Horse Girl Pretty Derby is getting a season 3. Announced on the official Twitter account that it will be coming out in 2023. They revealed a teaser visual and promotional video with it, and it seems to indicate that the focus of Season 3 will be on Satono Diamond and Kita-san Black. Obviously 2 real-world horses that are now moe girls.
Are they all horses?
Or also idols. I mean, everyone except a couple, like, coaches and administrators at the school are... Like, everyone who's competing in the races are horses. They're just not horses, really. They're just based off horses.
It's back.
It's back, baby.
Uma Musume.
It's such a wild series, and better than it had any right to be. So I'll be watching it.
Oh, okay. Well, those new releases certainly were hot.
Oh, it gets pretty hot down here in hell.
All right. Well, Anime Satan, since you're so vocal, what is your big news? Do you have a big news of the week?
Well, some company listened to all the advice that Anime Satan was giving them and finally got around to releasing an ASMR audio tape of Roxanne from Harem and in the Labyrinth of Another World. And I gotta say, Roxanne, she's been on Hell's top 10 most wanted list for a while now. You know, the sweet booty, the fullest bosom. The cute little ears, you just want to pet them, you know, you just want to nade state of the ears, you know, that's what Anime Satan wants. I don't know what you want, but, and Kadokawa, God bless them, I love Kadokawa. They released this tape that includes multiple situations so you can experience Roxanne puffing into the ear. Very nice. Ear cleaning on Roxanne's lap, so you get a little, Anime Satan style mimikaki, you know, an oil massage. You're gonna need a lot of oil for all this body hair. There we go. Hair cleaning. Hair cleaning at close distance. Is she cleaning her hair or cleaning my hair? Together on the bed. I love that one. Yeah, that's my favorite. And you can buy this for only $12 US. So the loneliest of anime fans can feel coddled by Roxanne's sweet womanly embrace. So you can get it from Kadokawa, God bless them, and Anime Satan, he loves it.
You know what else I noticed was that they're selling an $82 body pillow that you can fold, so you can put your head on the bottom part of the pillow, and it looks like you're sitting in Roxanne's lap, so that you can like have the simulation.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Oh yeah,
now
hey, I will come sit on Daddy's lap.
I will mention, Mitsugi, we do have lots of ways you can support us. You can use Amazon affiliate links to chip in here and there. You can obviously support us by subscribing to our bonus content. But there's also, on our website, there's a way you can just go and do a one-time donation. So someone, theoretically, could go to AAApodcast.com and, just, if they felt so inclined, donate $12.
Yeah,
And
sure, why not?
We would have to we'd have to listen to this for the fans. You're saying?
Oh man, I would definitely
Fall on that sword. Yeah,
I would partake
okay.
live on the podcast.
If someone were to do such a thing,
but for me, you see, it's a two-edged sword right here. So obviously, I'm not one to enjoy harem in the labyrinth of another world. I don't really like all the hentai parts to it.
Hey, fuck you.
But not just that. I despise ASMR with a passion. I cannot stand it. If there are like ASMR of like people just whispering in your ear and then clicking the bottles and all that stuff, I'm just like, just shut up. Shut up. Don't do it. Don't you start doing it, Mitzi.
No,
I
not really.
swear.
I love it.
Not Anime Satan either. I don't care if he is our guest.
Okay, well, on that note,
let's get into our main topic.
If anybody wants to buy Mitsugi the Roxanne ASMR, we'll enjoy it with Caroline, whether she wants to or not.
That will be I think that will be a hentai episode.
It could be.
It might.
It could be. Mason, what are we doing for this main topic?
Distance. Whose hair is? If it's my hair, it has to be at a close distance. The main topic today is best devils and demons in anime. We each went through our collective list and cherry picked a couple characters that were like, that's a good demon or devil, boy or girl. And obviously, what constitutes a devil or a demon kind of depends on if the show refers to them as such. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you think your favorites are, and we'll just run through our list and see who's got the best roster. So who wants to start off? Satan, you know your stuff. Mitz?
Yeah, so I went with... oh, you gotta love it. I went with Diablo from How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, because without this guy, you wouldn't get to have... Oh, Caroline's eating a jelly bean.
That's right.
Yeah.
Eat that fucking jelly bean.
Yeah, eat that jelly bean. That's right. Shara Greenwood. Oh, one of the finest. Ooh, she is. Oh, man. Honestly, this anime character probably made someone like $50 million because just on like doujins and lewd artwork, because Shara Greenwood is so fucking hot as an anime character that without Diablo, you would not have Shara. And I don't know, there's like the little, isn't there a cat girl in there too? I think there's a cat girl in that anime as well, but no one cares.
I don't think I ever watched that show.
Yeah, there's a cat girl in there, I think, but I don't particularly, it's fine. So, yeah, what's a terrible anime?
That'll do it.
Fucking sure. So I don't know if he's really one of the best, but Shara Greenwood, she's one of the best. But Roxanne is still better. Caroline, how about you?
All right. On my list, I have Nezuko from Demon
That's so
Slayer.
weird. I had dinner with her last week.
Yeah, she definitely is peak moe. I can see why she'd be down in the pit of hell. But she is just so cute sometimes. And also she has like, ferocious claws, and she can definitely beat me up.
Yeah.
And she's so cool. I like her. She's a
badass when she fucking transforms.
I mean, she doesn't have to grow boobs to be a badass. She's good on her own. She got them kicks and the blood art magic or whatever it's called. And yeah, she's a pretty prolific demon on our list here.
Everyone loves a Nezuko. And everyone
but
loves
where would she be in the pit of hell? Because she's both a demon and a moe girl.
She's down there. I Satan, is she down there in hell?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, see, Nezuko is a character that I'm talking to you on Twitch. I'm talking to everybody listening. You're all looting Nezuko, okay? Whether you want to admit it or not, very looted character. It's like, oh, Nezuko, she's so cute. Oh my God, now she has massive breasts. Like, oh, it's just like, the little robot brain is like sizzling and smoking. Mason, how about you? What do you got?
I got to start off with probably one of the biggest ones, the most obvious ones out there, which is Devilman Crybaby.
Ooh.
It's got Devilman in the name, and you're like, this probably will have some satanic moments, and yeah, it absolutely delivers.
It was full on satanic, yeah.
Yeah, and not just one demon devil. So many. It's got gore, savagery, chaos, enough devils to populate the world, and memes. Oh, nothing is more evil than memes. And it's such a good show, and it's so savage, and it just shows the worst in humanity. And if that's not what devil and demons try to induce, I don't know what is. So, yeah, it's just a bloodbath of epic proportions, and it's got to be near the top of the best out there.
Oh yeah, that anime is so fucking good. It's like unfreaking believable how good that. But like, I get that it's not for everybody though. But yeah, I mean, I think we all would have had Devilman Crybaby on our list, except I immediately saw that it was on your list, and then I was like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, well I can't put it then. But man,
yeah, no, this isn't a undercover thing that only Mason would have thought of. No, everyone thought of Devilman Crybaby.
You just put it on your list first.
That's right, baby.
I actually want to go back and watch all of the old Devilman stuff. I'm just not sure which stuff is worth watching and which stuff isn't, because it's kind of out of my area. Like, I know
Maybe you should be the authority figure on that. You should make the list, the top Devilman shows.
Well, I know Devil Lady is on Retro Crush. I haven't used it for so long, I almost forgot what it was called. But it's 26 episodes, and I just don't know if Devil Lady is worth it. So I know that one of the Devilman OVAs is like one of the most violent anime ever made. Like, I mean, if you want to watch demons eating children in the most like graphic way humanly possible, that's in there.
Is that the Birth?
God,
Is that one?
Is that the Promised Neverland?
I can't remember. It's so much worse than the Promised Neverland, and we're not even. Like,
no, I know it is.
Shit.
But...
Yeah, nothing like watching an 8-year-old child's eyeballs fall out. It's pretty.
Nothing like it.
Yeah, but Devilman is pretty great. So, how about you, Anime Satan? Do you have one?
Satan's a big fan of Wicked City, mostly because of the Spider Woman. It's a Spider Woman with the vagina dentata. If you're not careful, she'll snatch off your little willy like a toothpick. But the funny thing is that my penis it just grows back when it gets ripped off. It just grows back. It's amazing. It's like a weed or a salamander's tail or whatever. So the vagina dentata girls, they love it because they love just snatching off a penis. It's very satisfying, and then I just laugh. I'm just like, see you next week, because it's just gonna grow back anyway. And so they get to have some fun. I get to have some fun. They may not be moe girls now. Now, if you can show me a vagina dentata moe girl, then we're talking. Call up Hope Mitsugi. Dial the phone. Miss, we're gonna have to get a pronto on this vagina dentata moe girl, because that's just the holy grail. Put a ring on it. We can make her the queen of anime hell. With that vagina dentata. So, yeah. So the Spider Woman, she can snatch. She can bite off my penis all day long, because that motherfucker's just gonna grow back anyway. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the devil Spider Woman from Wicked City.
Satan, you have a different queen of hell every single fucking week.
Satan loves a woman that can kick his ass.
So even Anime Satan is vulnerable to the power of moe. Are you saying that?
Yeah, sure, why not?
It's that Gap Moe. That's what he finds so enthralling.
All right, I guess it's back to me.
I think so.
Now, this is probably, for me, I I don't know, maybe my favorite demon thing, whatever, in anime. I love Inuyasha. Inuyasha, specifically Inuyasha himself. We're just gonna go with him. There's lots of demons in Inuyasha. You know, I could have gone with like the really sexy spider chick from like episode 5 or whatever. But anybody who grew up with anime on Cartoon Network, you may not love Inuyasha. You may not think it's the best anime that ever came out, but you at least are probably nostalgic about Inuyasha because this shit was on Adult Swim for like 10 years. And I have seen the first half of Inuyasha like 14 times, all of it, because it's on fucking Cartoon Network all the time. And I fucking love Inuyasha, and I love Kagome, and I love Sango, and I love Miroku, and I love, just, the whole cast. I even love the old woman. What is her name? Kaede or whatever. And it's just it's not a great anime. It's lengthy and bloated beyond belief with filler, but Inuyasha just gives me that feeling, it just makes me feel, I don't know, good, I guess.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And so you may not think it's a great anime, but it's in your heart somewhere if you grew up watching anime on Cartoon Network at all. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys feel the same way about that, or am I alone on that?
The only experience of Inuyasha I've had was Yashahime, so I don't think you want my opinion on that.
Oh, that's
that's rough.
So sad. Oh, yeah. Yashahime is fucking trash, for sure. And I still want to finish Inuyasha, but I canceled Hulu, so I don't think that's gonna happen. Although it might be on Netflix now. I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like it's everywhere, but okay, Caroline, back to you.
All right. Well, I think we would be remiss if we did not bring in Ryuk from Death Note onto this list.
He's a terrible golfer. We shoot golf sometimes. Just terrible. Slices like a pizza.
Yeah, I do not take him for somebody with the golf. He has a very poor posture. But he is an awesome character that just stands the test of time. Even if Death Note wasn't like the most popular show as it is, Ryuk is just so iconic that he's just one of the best characters in that show that, yeah, it's hard not to, love him, even though he is a god of death.
And he loves apples.
He does love apples.
Which is very weird. Apples aren't... Okay, real quick. I mean...
what is your problem with the god of death liking apples?
I've been eating a lot of...
the second most, intimidating fruit.
I've been eating a lot of carbs lately because I'm bulking, and I've been eating a lot of fruit. Like, close to 500 grams a day of fruit. Which is a shitload. And I just gotta say, apples are like no more than a C tier fruit. And I kind of want to know how you guys feel about that. Like pineapples are A tier, okay?
Pineapples are, I don't know. I'm not huge on them. They're really sweet, even compared to apples for me.
Much sweeter than apples, but so come on, what is your tier? Do you like? Come on, tier and apple. What do you think?
Okay, well, apples for me, they make my mouth itch. That's TMI. I do love apples though. So, and because I don't really eat like a lot of melons or other types of fruit, it's got to be bananas first, I think.
Ooh.
And then apples.
Oh, apples are up there with bananas?
Yeah.
Wow.
And now here's a jelly bean rule. Here's a jelly bean rule that does not get used very often, and that's food references. So we just added a jelly bean right there. I don't think we hardly ever use that part.
If you want to be a dark, brooding, evil-looking character, you're not gonna scare anyone choking down a banana. You can't be piling grapes into your mouth and looking like a badass. Like, you can't be picking at a strawberry. Like, no. You gotta be just chomping in to a voracious apple. You gotta just be mainlighting a pineapple with the spikes and all. Like, those are angry fruit, So it's...
And they're also iconically the fruit of evil in the Bible.
Temptation.
Yeah, temptation, the Garden of Eden. Have you ever heard of it?
Listen.
This is like, I wouldn't cut these gains just for a goddamn apple,
Listen.
And that's the main reason why they're kind of incorporated into Death Note is for that symbolism.
You might not think that a banana is badass, but I've definitely have seen some women do some badass work with a banana, okay?
Okay, so is that jelly bean worthy? Is that a jelly bean worthy
no,
statement?
No.
That's right. Eat that fucking jelly bean.
No,
Yeah,
I'll
he
leave
said it.
there.
Have you ever seen a?
Well,
have
it
you ever
doesn't
seen,
matter who says it.
All right, look. If you've ever seen a woman stick an entire banana in her mouth, that's gonna make you feel a certain way. Okay, I just want to say, and
That
God,
deserves a jelly bean.
there you go. I was gonna say, are you gonna defy the king of hell on episode 666?
No, this is because of you. Like, just stop looting bananas. You're the one who's making a big deal out of people looting Nezuko. Look at you looting something that's inanimate and a fruit.
People have been looting bananas since the dawn of time.
Yes, but can I please eat my bananas without you making it weird?
Nope.
I mean, there's
Ryuk is a great demon on this list. Let's move on.
All right, he is great.
Is.
Mason, what do you got?
Next up, I have from the fantastic show Dorohedoro. There is a bunch of weird-looking creatures in that show, but there's also a bunch of demons. And near the second half of the show, there's a thing called Blue Night Festival, which is where all these sorcerers go around trying to seek a partner. And essentially this whole extravaganza is put on and dictated by demons and devils. And there's this head demon named Cheetah-Rumu or something like that. I don't remember his name. But he's awesome. I love him. He just writes these contracts between magic users. And he's just so cheerful and systematic and punctual as he just takes his handle, drives it into people's chests, rips out their skeletons, pulls out these meaty slabs that are the documentation of these evil, malicious contracts, and he has people sign them. And it's just a really great scene because they're both friendly and terrifying concurrently. And it's such a cool visuals. There's also some other demons in the show, like Asu, who just pops in with these weird, I don't know, not watercolor, but it looks like a lava lamp just emerging out of nowhere through these portals, and it's just really neat. And it's a cool show with cool demons, and I like it. That's all I got.
Dorohedoro kind of reminds me of Sekiro. Is that right? Because it's there's all these puppet body parts and shit being interchanged and used as weapons. Am I on the mark there?
I could see it. It's tangentially, it kind of has that body horror where, you are taking apart someone but still using it in a very puppetry or using it for other means. So I could see it, yeah. Not enough crocodiles in Sekiro, but yeah, we'll take it.
All right, Anime Satan, do you have any more?
No, not really.
Okay, all right, we can move on then. So for me, Chainsaw Man. We have to mention Chainsaw Man at some point on this list. And so I went with Power. There's a lot of different Chainsaw Man demons that are worth mentioning. You could also mention, what the fuck's the dog's name? Pochi or whatever?
Pochita.
Pochita?
Pochita.
Pochita, yeah. Pochita's good, but I'm going with Power. She's just pretty cool. One of the primary sources of fun in that anime, I think. I think she's the fan favorite, we said. And Chainsaw Man, I mean, people love that anime, and it's just got a lot of style and a lot of fun. And Power is kind of there specifically to be fun, and everyone loves that. So I'm going with Power. And she doesn't look too bad in a bathing suit. I'll just say that and throw that in there. The opening, pretty good.
Even with her little
padding.
Padding.
Even with the padding,
Very devilish of her.
So I'm going to go, very devilish. Devilishly, very deceiving. So, you got to watch out. You got to watch out for a woman like that, though.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It's you just never know. If she's gonna put stuff in her bra, what else is? What other kind of misleading, devilish behavior is in store? I hope a lot. So, yeah, girl. All right, Caroline, you're up.
Okay. So next on my list is literally anyone in Hozuki no Reitetsu, or Hozuki's cool-headedness.
So cute.
Just
love the dog.
A show filled with demons. Every single character is a demon or Satan himself. So it's a really great show about how Hell is really just a company, and they deal with issues just like anybody else at their job. Hozuki is pretty chill. He's cool. He likes to garden, and other than that, there was just a lot of characters. It was kind of hard to remember all of them, but if I had to make another mention of anyone in particular, it has to be the dog, Shiro. He's
Shiro was pretty good. What about Karashi?
He's so cute and stupid.
Momotaro.
Yeah, like he's just so funny. He just says so many just out of the blue things, this little white dog, that you're like, why is this cute little thing saying something like that? So I recommend just checking out Hozuki no Reitutsu if you haven't already. If not, for the wide variety of fun characters and frustrating workplace situations, do it for Shiro the dog.
Or Karashi, the little bunny.
Yeah, Karashi
rabbit.
too.
She's pretty awesome.
All right, Mason, back to you.
Next up, we mentioned it earlier briefly, and maybe these guys could be called more monsters, but the demons in The Promised Neverland in season 1, they're just really cool looking, and their introduction is so chilling with their long spindly fingers and the way their faces are just they're biting and more than just kids, and I really like them. They're really cool and they're mysterious. And then season 2 allegedly happens, and whatever. It doesn't matter. Season 1, I really like them in that show. They're not as present, but I think that hiding them behind the curtain as the unknown mystery force out there is just really neat. And I liked how they were used. So it was cool. I don't have a specific because I don't know any of their names, but they were all cool.
Do they even have names?
No, the two that they meet in the alleged second season. Like, I think her name was, like, Magica or something like that.
I removed the second season from my mind.
I don't believe you.
Does the anime have
you're right. I could be just talking out of my ass.
I think it was a fever dream, Caroline. I think you're mixing... It's a shame it never happened. Anyway, what's next?
Well, I love Yu Yu Hakusho. So, Yu Yu Hakusho is great. And they spend an awful lot of that anime in Hell, or wherever, the demon world. And so you have an awful lot of demons to pick from. You know, there's there's the one team that has I can't remember their names. You got the drunken, like the guy who's dub actor. Look, it sounds like a Australian dude. He's always drinking. And then there's the guy that like the little Jin. I think his name's Jin, the devil, the guy who like can fly. Ooh, he sounds like I can't do an Irish accent. I'm not gonna bother. But he sounds Irish.
Yeah, so don't disrespect our Irish listeners.
And but I gotta give it to Hiei. I think Hiei's the coolest. He's the whole. I love the whole foursome of in Yu Yu Hakusho. Obviously Yusuke is great. Hiei is great. Kuwabara is great. I'm not a huge Kurama fan. He's obviously there for the ladies. But so he's any pretty guy who fights with a rose whip is pretty much targeting the shoujo, tangential whatever side crowd or whatever in the sea of shonen. But Hiei is pretty fucking badass. I mean, he's got some dope fucking fights. He's always relevant. He is a brooding little son of a bitch, but he's cool as fuck. And yeah. See, look, Lady Emery. Lady Emery on Twitch goes, Kurama for me, of course. Duh. Because he's there for the ladies. It's pretty obvious. He's like, oh, and when I transform into the white form of Kurama, I am the most gorgeous anime boy that ever existed. Yeah. Oh, my God. Am I right? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Woo. Ho, ho. Woo.
You do a really good anime Satan impression, Mitsuki.
I can laugh pretty boisterously when I want to. So, all right, back to you, Caroline.
On my list as well is Rejerd from Jobless Reincarnation. I'm not entirely certain if I pronounce his name correctly. Now his species is a spurd, but they also refer to them as like demons. I think they're kind of just synonymous, the species with demons or something like that. So he is just a really cool character in this show. One of the only ones that isn't a complete gross and lewd person. The only one with an ounce of dignity and honor, and he's a spurred or a demon. So yeah, that really tells you something about the characters of Jobless Reincarnation. It's a great show. I really enjoy it, but Ryujerd is one of the main reasons because he's just really cool. He has, good fighter and really cares about his companions. And I can't remember.
Get the fuck out of here!
I can't remember where we left off in
Oh,
the
sorry.
last part
I've
of
got
the
these
season.
little devils trying to crawl up my pant legs.
I'm not entirely certain if he's going to show up in the next season or not. I can't remember what happened at the end of the last one. But I hope we get to see him again because I like him.
He'll be back.
And that's it.
With his weird
I know,
green
but
hair.
back soon. I'm not sure if he... Yeah, the hair is really strange. He's better off bald. He looks cool.
Yeah, I agree. It's
not you.
It's funny, but like if and we could have a whole podcast topic on this, but I'm just gonna say like certain anime hair colors have just been casually adopted, at least by me. So when I see like a blue-haired anime girl, I'm like, oh, okay, blue-haired anime girl. I've seen a lot of those. I'm down. I see red-haired anime girl, Rios Gremory. I'm like, okay, sweet. Pink, Steel Angel Kurumi. I'm down. Sure, why not? And obviously black and blonde and whatever. But when I see green on male or female characters, it just doesn't...
It's not a very pleasant... yeah.
It doesn't sit well with me. I'm like, no. It just looks ridiculous. It looks way too artificial. But there's something about green that is artificial in a way that I just can't... That isn't palatable in the way that artificial blue hair is, and I just don't understand it, but maybe that's just
Maybe
me.
it's because, like, even if the colors themselves are so stark and obviously not a natural hair color, blue you kind of associate with, like, I don't know, like black hair or something like that. Red you would associate with auburn hair, or yellow with blonde hair. But with green, there really is no natural, association. There's not a natural association.
That could be right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Look at me. I'm so smart.
I wonder if there is just naturally so much green in the environment of any like outdoor shot that they have to go with like a weird putrid, like off kilter green to differentiate it from blending in with like the background, that they're working with a limited green color palette and they have to go with a weird one for the hair. I don't know. But I get what you're talking about.
Yeah,
all right,
so,
I think Mason's
Mason,
up next.
Yeah, I will go with another show that may or may not have had a disappointing second season, and that is Devil is a Part-Timer.
No!
Hey, don't hate Anime Satan. Our boy, Other Satan, who isn't an anime, so I don't know how that works.
Fuck you.
He's trying his best out there. He's unfortunately out there living his best life, commanding the armies of hell in a great war, and all of his powers and underlings are stripped from him, and he's left to do the only thing left, which is work at McDonald's, which you must understand that that's worse than hell. Like,
sea
that's
oil heaven, baby.
Exactly. Sorry, not McDonald's. We wouldn't dare utter such things.
McDonald's.
Yeah. But besides
That's
that,
ridiculous.
he's a good boy, and he brings everyone to his
boy.
side, and we appreciate Anime Satan's struggles. And I know it wasn't quite the representation you were looking for, Anime Satan, but he's coming back. He lives in a world where he can spend $12 now, get a little Roxanne action. So, I'm a little envious of him.
There's a cat girl on that too. Satan loves a cat girl.
Very true, Anime Satan. Very true.
All right. I'm just gonna give one more, and I'm gonna skip Dante from Devil May Cry because the anime sucks so much ass, and go to another anime that sucks even more ass, but is a fucking phenomenal video game. Disgaea has an anime. I don't know if anybody knows that. It's very bad. But Etna is pretty fucking great. So, man, Disgaea, there will never be another strategy RPG as good as Disgaea again. All right, I am pretty willing to stake my I would bet pretty much anything that that's the case. You're never going to run into Disgaea 1 is the best strategy RPG ever. And Etna is a huge reason why that's the case. And she is fucking awesome. And I love Etna. And, you know, and it's weird. Etna's dressed very lewd, but she has nothing about her that's lewd. And they don't lewd her in the anime, or the video game, rather. So, I don't know. Whatever. Etna's great. If you haven't played Disgaea, making a big mistake, go play it. It's fucking great. And it's been re-released on
properties.
What's that?
Speaking of properties with cat girls in them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah. And it's been re-released on everything. So yeah. The anime is not good, but, you know, Disgaea, I can't forget Etna. She's a goat. So, Caroline, you got anything else?
I got 2 honorable mentions that I'll be quick about. So one of them being Hyakimaru from Dororo. He's not a demon, no, but like part of his character arc is that as he gains his body parts back from the demons, he becomes like his humanity lessens and he becomes somewhat demonic himself. What?
Earlier, I made a comment about Dorohei Doro being like Sekiro. I was thinking
Gotcha.
Dororo.
Oh my goodness.
That's kind of what I assumed you
The
were
fucking
thinking
titles are like the same.
of. Yeah.
Killing me here.
Well, Dororo is great, and
Yeah.
I recommend if you have not watched it yet. And also, honorable mention, Mononoke, the Princess Mononoke, Sen. She is not a demon either. She is human, but she was raised by demons or devils, or
Wolves.
are they demons or just
They're
spirits?
wolves.
They're
Wolf spirits.
Spirit wolves. Yes, wolf spirits. But she's also kind of seen as a demon herself. So I feel like she deserves to be on this list because she's so badass. And yeah. That's it.
Yeah,
Satan
I think
loves a
that'll do
woman
it.
that can kick his ass.
All right. Mason, anything else, or before we go to the news break?
No. I've just been reading. Chat had some good ones. I think High School DxD was in there. I think they're pretty demonic. So that's a good one. But yeah, let us know. YouTube, Discord, wherever, which ones you like, and we'll take a look at them. Thank you.
Thank you. And we shall have our weekly trivia question here. What are the 2 large factions that compete for customers and turf in Akiba Maid War? And we will give you the answer after our very devilish news break.
Hey, Anime Addicts, Mitsuki's here, bringing you your anime news break. Starting off with some more Spy Family news. Spy Family in the news a lot these days. Universal Studios Japan is going to be having a Spy Family exhibit. They're going to be having a puzzle-solving game, and also they're going to be selling Spy Family-themed menu items and merchandise throughout the duration of the attraction. It's going to include beef stew, churros styled after Anya, and steamed buns shaped like Anya's toy plush chimera. So if you want to go do the top secret missions over at Universal Studios Japan, maybe if you head over to Japan for vacation, you'll be able to stop by and hit up the Spy Family attraction. Should be pretty cool for you. Next up in the news, manga being made into an anime. The manga Kyujitsu no Warumono-san, or Mr. Villain's Day Off, is going to be getting an anime adaptation from Studio Shin-A Animation. The synopsis is about a man who is a member of a malevolent organization and is tasked with invading Earth and wiping out humanity. However, even he needs a chance to rest. So, not even the Rangers, a team solely dedicated to defeating him and his colleagues, will stand in the way of him visiting pandas at the zoo, buying ice cream at the convenience store, and enjoying his well-deserved day off from committing evil. So, if you want to watch this anime that probably will have a lot of dichotomy of tone, look out for Mr. Villain's Day Off coming out probably pretty soon. Next up, Rookies is Punked, a rock band that went on hiatus back in March of 2019, is back. They're back to make more music that their fans hopefully will enjoy. So this is being coined as a comeback, so to speak. They were formed in 2006 and had a major debut in 2010. They've done a lot of anime songs, including the Ao no Exorcist theme songs, Bleach, Durarara, Yo Mushi Pedal, etc. So if you're a fan of Rookies as Punked, they're coming back. So you got like save that to look forward to. Also, we haven't even really gotten to all the anime awards yet for 2022, but Bocchi the Rock has already taken home wins. So Bocchi the Rock sweeped the 2022 Anime Trending Awards. It won the Community's Anime of the Year award and also won 7 other categories, including Adapted Screenplay, Episode Directing, Storyboard, Soundtrack, Voice Cast, Comedy, Music, Anime, Slice of Life, etc. Blah, blah, blah. So the Anime Trending announced the results live stream on this last Saturday, and there's a whole huge list of winners that I can't possibly read here, but if you're interested in it, go find it online. It'll be worth looking at. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break, and now time to get back to the podcast. So, you're at the gym, feeling great, and looking great too, I might add. That is until your favorite podcast ends. Now, without your headphones, you're suddenly lost in the wilds of Meatland. Don't get lost in the wilds of Meatland. Get the AAA Podcast extra content. We'll help you gain some fun times with our hobby addicts, after parties, and hentai episodes. Nothing gets your blood pumping quite like hentai, and nothing helps the podcast quite like your support. So head over to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon to support the show. Again, that's aapodcast.com/join or Patreon. Bro, sounds like you need a spot from the AAA podcast.
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
When I was growing up, I grew up in like West Virginia in the mountains, and we would spend most of our free time hiking and like finding dead deer skeletons and all this crazy shit that like kids do in the woods, right?
Wait, what about the anime cliche of a pile of porn?
Q Kazuo talking about like the porn mags and there's always a sofa in the woods somewhere, and there's always porn magazines under the cushion. It's such like they're like shamefully hiding in the woods, like rubbing one out on like a bench somewhere in the woods. This is Caroline's fault, Mason. I see you shaking your head no, but
okay, I just said porn. I did not get graphic with
well,
it.
you know,
You know where Mitz's head is at. You knew he was going to take this. He's so loopy. His inhibitions are at an all-time low.
Porn magazines only have one use in this world, and it's not like reading material, okay?
This is a very adult episode.
I didn't say that you whip your stuff out and start going to town on it.
Well, now you are.
I did, but I censored myself, okay? This music reminds me of my homeland.
The March of the Mitsugi.
That was a wild episode. I remember it just being so off the rails.
This is a wild episode. It's going to get wilder in a minute. So, what are the 2 large factions that compete for customers and turf in Akiba Maid War? The answer is Creatureland and Maidalian. Just stupid. Fucking A.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really great names, are they?
It's a very silly anime. All right, well, we now have our rotating segment that we're going to do, and then after that, we're going to be doing that review of Akiba Maid War, so don't go anywhere. Anime Satan, are you ready?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, good. All right, well, let's roll it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Yes, it's Moe in Hell, the show where I tell you if your favorite Moe girl is already here serving me in the fiery pits of hell. And we have a lot of callers backed up on the line already, of course. Welcome, you're on Moe in Anime Hell, and you're talking to Anime Satan. Where are you calling from? And if it's Anime Hell, why don't you come sit on Daddy Satan's lap?
I'm calling from Miami, which is almost as hot as hell.
So on this game show, we're trying to determine whether or not your favorite Moe girls are already down here in hell serving me. I have my bookkeeper here with me. Who is the Moe girl that you're calling about?
Shirahoshi from One Piece. She's a mermaid, and she is rather large, so not quite small, but she acts like she's very small.
Is this like a huge Moe girl? Some kind of like a new freak Moe girl? I think I saw this girl in the Monster Musume anime. Is that right?
Much bigger.
Let me see. Yes, it's coming back to me now. I believe we had this Moe girl for dinner about 3 weeks ago. And she was a little gamey, you know. You could tell that she'd been worked around a little bit, you know. A little too much looting going on. You can almost taste it when a Moe girl is looted. It just has like a sour, impure taste. And I was so pissed off that I had the chef sent to the hell of anime hell. So there's actually a hell below anime hell where people that piss me off go. And I said, how dare you bring me this fucking looted Moe girl? She tastes like the sins of anime fans. It was very unpleasant.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Very beautiful though. Yeah, very beautiful. We considered doing a body sushi service using the upper half of her body that was not sushi. You know, in Japan they call it nyotai mori, but here in Anime Hell we call it mokori sushi. Anime Satan really likes the sushi on the nipples, you know. No, we couldn't make it work. And then she kept staring at, like, she's just gonna, like, the torso just kept staring at me. And I was like, no, we can't do this. So it was just a fucking disaster. So your Moe girl fucked up my dinner the other night. So it's very, someday I'll see you in hell.
It's devastating on so many levels.
All right, well, you have been a great caller, but now I think it's time for you to go to hell. So bye now.
Bye, Anime Satan.
Welcome, you're on Moe in Anime Hell, and you're talking to Anime Satan. Where are you calling from? And if it's from Anime Hell, why don't you come a little closer? Satan won't bite. Well, maybe just a little bit.
Oh, okay, I'm getting closer. I'm calling, fellow pit boss to pit boss, calling from Minnesota, land of the cold, but you know how it is.
You wouldn't last 2 minutes in Anime Hell.
No, I would not.
On the last call, we discussed nyotai mori. Have you ever heard of nyotai mori? Because Satan wants to do nyotai mori very, very much, and I need a Moe girl to offer herself so I can do this.
Oh, okay. I've got a Moe girl.
I hope she's perfect for nyotai mori. So, which Moe girl do you want to know about? Maybe they're already in hell, where they belong.
I want to know about Nezuko.
Oh, Nezuko. Yes. Everybody's favorite looted Moe girl that they pretend they don't loot, but then when she gets massive tits, they inevitably loot her anyway.
Oh yeah, men, women, looting away.
Considering Nezuko's already a demon, she is definitely in hell. She's where she belongs, and when Nezuko's all grown up and her breastises are in their full moon state, we could definitely do a high quality nyotai mori service with Nezuko. Would you like to join for nyotai mori?
I don't know what that is, but absolutely.
Nyotai mori is a high-end sushi service where you eat sushi off of a naked woman. And we tried to do it with the last Moe girl, but she stank of the lewdness of anime fans, and so it was just not appetizing.
I'll join you for this as long as Nezuko is in full moon form. I am down to clown.
Yes, I love her. When she transforms, she makes me feel a certain something in my happy spot.
Oh, I think there's a word for that.
Yeah, Anime Satan's penis. Okay, well, you've been a great caller, but now it's time for you to go to hell. So, goodbye now. Welcome, you're on Moe in Anime Hell. You're talking to Anime Satan. Where are you calling from? And if it's from hell, why don't you come serve Anime Satan? I need my wine refilled.
Yeah, definitely. I'll serve you your wine.
Are you saying you're calling from hell?
Yeah, I'm calling directly from hell.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well then, which Moe girl do you want to know about? She may be in hell already. Maybe you could have a rendezvous.
Well, Fran, from the Reincarnated Sword.
Oh, a recent fan favorite, Fran. Fucking Moe girls. Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you right now, the truth is that, Satan does love his Moe girls. But,
yes.
But I will also tell you, and we do have a top 10 most wanted list of anime girls, and Pope Mitsugi, he knows about this, because the bounty is very high, and his church needs the money, because he's very poor. But Fran reincarnated as a sword was so good. We still need Fran. We still have a use for Fran. So once she's served her purpose and finished her role in anime, I'll be happy to install a brand new fresh litter box full of kitty litter made of sharp broken glass just for Fran. What do you think? And then you can come visit.
Just the premium quality. Just the premium quality. Nothing less is satisfied.
That's right. We're going to open up a cat cafe in hell, and you can come drink tea while you watch Fran poop in a litter box. What do you think?
Well, definitely is a possibility.
Anything is possible, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, well, you've been a great caller, but now it's time for you, too, to go to hell. So, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
That's all the time we have for today. We'll see you next time on Anime in Hell.
I gotta say, Anime Satan, that was... I didn't realize that you were so talented.
Yeah, thanks. It's a hobby of mine. I like to think that I am an anime Satan of the people, and that the people they'll learn to love me in time. Except for that guy who called about the mermaid woman, the gamey looted fish bitch. That guy, I don't care if that guy loves me. He can fuck off.
All right, good to know. Okay, well that was fun. Is it now time for more fun? Because that's all.
Yeah,
that...
I want to make one quick comment.
Yeah.
For those listening, only listening, not on YouTube, not on Twitch, there were multiple times that the lovable Mako, Mitsugi's cat, came by, in which Mitsugi would rotate his camera so you could see Mako's adorable face staring into the camera from above.
He looked a bit grumpy.
He looked a bit grumpy, and when he did
all the
so with Anime Satan's voice coming through the audio, I will say it kind of matched. He kind of came off as Anime Satan vibes, and I think we found a visual representation.
He's very cute.
Yeah, can Mako be Anime Satan's profile picture?
Oh, you're all mad at me now?
Yeah, like when we finally update our fan art, we'll make Mako be the visuals for Anime Satan.
You have something that you want to say?
Oh my god.
He's very pissed at me. He's very mad.
If anybody is an artist and can make a little painting of Mako, we want it. We really want it.
As Anime Satan, yeah.
As Anime Satan with little devil horns. Make his ears little devil horns.
All right.
Now
are we ready to devolve into just utter nonsense?
I think so. We have our review of Akiba Maid War. This is a fall 2022 show. Listener choice. It's streaming on High Dive, so hell. Once again, it's fitting the theme. It's done by PA Works, and it is a original story.
Yeah, fuck High Dive.
Oh, you don't like High Dive either?
Yeah, their video player sucks, and ain't nobody got money for that nonsense.
Very true, very true. So, Akiba Maid War is a mafia story of moe-filled criminal sisterhood of these maid cafes that are dotted around Akihabara. And there are two factions, as we mentioned earlier, the animal-themed Creatureland and the sci-fi-themed Maid Alien group. And they compete amongst themselves for ketchup omurice, ramen, and dishonor. And each episode kind of operates as a standalone one, where our main cast from the lovable, lowly, pig-themed Oinky Doink Cafe finds themselves far out of their depth against some ravenous and murderous maids from another branch. And we watch our cast and crew kind of deal with them in one way or another, usually with a lot of blood spray. Yep. And hopefully they live to fight another day. So, what were your guys' initial expectations going into this show, Caroline?
Really did not know anything about it. I did hear people talking about Akiba Maid War in our Discord, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And it wasn't something that we initially had on our list, I don't think. And they had convinced Mason to give it a shot and put it on your list and eventually pass it. But really, I knew nothing about it except maids with guns. That's it.
So yeah, you got the whole thing then. How about you?
I mean,
Mitch?
I suppose.
I mean, I don't know. I think I got the gist of it sort of before watching it because people have been talking about it so much, and this was a listener choice, and so obviously, usually that means it's popular. If it's gonna win a vote with 50 other anime in there, usually that means it's popular. So I don't know, but I mean, so I expected it to be pretty good.
Oh, I thought Mason put it on his list and at the last
So-
minute and passed it.
Yeah, so what happened is
Oh.
so fall 2022, I had Bocchi and Chainsaw Man. So those were both two killer shows that I had to pass. But I heard the hype in the Discord and I watched episode 1 and I thought it was really fun. I loved the first episode. And so I didn't pass it when we did our last call for like, hey, what should people check out? I was like, Akiba Maid War is a pretty good time. It's not for everyone, but it really knocked my doors off in the first episode. So if it passed, I'd be pretty pleased, and glad it was. So
Yeah, I misunderstood it.
I just manipulated the vote with with strategery to.
See, people would call me out for doing 5D chess.
Yeah, but the difference is
5D.
Akiba Maid War
5D,
is
not
fun.
even 4D. 5D chess.
All right, Bobby
Because
Fischer. Settle
I
down.
failed Spy X Family that one
Family.
time. So, yeah.
Fair enough. I assume, Satan, did you have any expectations coming in? What were your inklings about Akiba Maid War?
Well, actually, Anime Satan knew exactly what to expect. When all these moe girls are shooting each other with guns and killing each other, where do you think they all end up? They all end up on my fucking floor, you know. It's just a nuisance. So, you know, and you know, on the one hand, it's helpful because it's just like now I've got all these moe girls coming to hell free of charge. Like, wow, look at this. It's like a smorgasbord. But on the other hand, the fucking bodies all over the floor.
That's fair.
I can
That's
see how
fair.
that would be a problem.
It's like a home delivery. It's like DoorDash, but they throw the food at your house instead of dropping it off nicely. I get it.
Oh,
So, Caroline, you watched it. Would you recommend, spoiler-free, Akiba Maid War?
I would recommend because it is extremely fun and also pretty original. You know, you don't really see gang wars with maids and guns very often. It has a lot of good humor, like clever with word puns, like Akiba Maid War is like Maido means underworld. So it all makes sense in the title in two different ways. And I'm sure there's even more of that kind of humor in the show that we just didn't pick up on because, you know, we are silly Americans and all that. But yeah, it has a lot of really fun characters. It's over the top. There's a lot of blood. So if that's not your thing, you don't like violence, this is not the show for you. But overall, it's just really fun and entertaining. And I enjoyed it.
We silly Americans with the
Yeah, I'm not sure
French
why I
accent.
said it like that.
I like it.
I was
like
hoping
it,
you
though.
wouldn't draw attention to that.
I'm sorry.
Big
Delete.
American peepee.
Exactly.
Why do you say such things, Mitsugi?
that's right. Eat that fucking jelly bean.
We put a mic in front of him, and since it's there, Mitsugi, would you recommend this show?
You know, I don't know. It's interesting, but it's also just really fucking stupid. I'm not really sure who I'd recommend this to. I mean, all children are out. I mean, it's way too violent. And then for older people,
Do you even know any children you would recommend this to?
No, of course not. Like, oh yeah, their parents
No.
are gonna love it. They're gonna love me after.
No, I meant in general a child for which to recommend anything to.
I mean, like 15 and under. You know, like I don't know. I mean, I guess 13-year-olds are watching the worst imaginable things on the internet. I'm sure. But like, I'm not gonna be like, oh hey, you know, 8th grader, you want to watch these like moe girls bathing in blood? It's like, but then like adults, I don't know, because the plot line is so stupid that I just don't know if adults are gonna like stick with it long term. Like they may make it a few episodes, but when like they take time out to play fucking baseball for a whole episode because. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't recommend it. Because who the hell am I going to recommend it to? I don't know. Caroline, she raised her hand.
Caroline raises her hand. I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. I feel like there's a lot of people that like silly stuff like this.
Yeah, I think this is a really good show. I think it continually iterates on what could have been a single joke premise. This show could have had a awesome episode 1 that's like, get it? It's funny because it's guns, but it's cute girls. That's the joke. Ta-da! And it could have been 11 episodes more of that, and it would have been abysmal. But it constantly changed the formula and the recipe a little bit each time, that it was good, and it was equally hilarious as it was fun, tragic, and entertaining. And I get that this show has a lot of elements at play, which makes it hard to recommend for someone specifically, but it has so many elements that you could recommend it to so many people. And like, if you don't like cute girls, okay. Do you like bloody violence? Oh, you don't like that? What about a critique on the like maid industry and the like artificialness of it all? No, you don't want that? How about like a plethora of references to like Western media and classic anime? No? How about just some banger music and good songs? No? Well, if you don't like any of that stuff, it sounds like you just don't like anything. I feel like the show fits snugly between like a Zombieland saga and a Black Lagoon. And it's one of the funnier shows I've seen since like Asobi Asobase. Like, the biggest attraction is probably the visuals, which are still passable. And fall 2022 killed it. And I enjoyed the show. I would recommend it. I will also say that the spoilers to the show are unbelievably spoilery. So more than usual, if you are on the fence of the show, I encourage watching it blind. It's kind of just a fun romp. It's kind of like a roller coaster, but once you know where it goes, like, this is not a very good like rewatch show besides a couple gags. So coming in with no expectations is the best. Check it out if you haven't, and if you just want to stick around, we'd still love to have you. So
Yeah, I mean,
think
also,
we need to.
sorry, just off one of your comments relating to Zombieland Saga, because it really felt a bit like Zombieland Saga to me, not in the fact that, they're zombies or anything, but it's an original anime with a very basic idea with maid cafes in Akihabara versus idols in Japan. And then they put a very dark twist to it where they're actually maids in gang wars and they're idols that are dead and turned into zombies. So, and there's just more underneath both of those things. It's a very strange idea on the surface that they really go ham with, and it very much works. Yeah. And so if you liked Zombieland Saga, I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna like Akiba Maid War. Because they just have a similar vibe, even if one is a little bit more bloody than the other.
That's fair, but I think there's one more person we need to hear from.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Anime
I guess
Satan.
I could recommend it. It's very handy, having all this small army of moe girls all delivered straight to hell free of charge. Pope Mitsuki, he's kind of stingy. He's expensive, so so you can kick him into the pit of hell, but that's going to cost you. So, but this is all free of charge. You don't see
Talking
moe
like
characters
shit.
being killed in anime very often. It's like an incredible freebie. But on the other hand, now I got maids walking all over hell, and it's ruining my reputation. It's a pain in the ass, and and on the other hand, it's kind of sad to see so many moe girls killing each other. So I think I would recommend it, but mostly for me.
That's very fair. Well, with that, spoilers are incoming. You've been warned.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god.
I kind of wanted Anime Satan to do an impression of that. I think he'd be very good at it.
No, not really.
Oh, how sad. Well, as we
dismissive.
mentioned before, we are about to get pretty spoilery. A lot of shit happens, especially in the last few episodes. So, yeah, if you don't want any spoilers, get out. You're not welcome here. Where do we
Pretty
start?
much. I mean, I think we can get around some of them, but generally, I think as with most comedy shows, the show did have its peaks and valleys. I thought the first episodes were great, the last episodes were great, and there were a couple standouts along the way. Episode 3, the Ashita no Joe boxing episode was good. Episode 5 about Ranko's birthday I thought was really enthralling. And obviously there's just moments that just weren't as great, but I think when it had to shine, it did, and they were spaced out enough where I was always looking forward to the next episode. I didn't quite binge it, but I was always watching 2 a day and never like, I gotta watch episode 7 now. Oh my, how many minutes left? Like, once I was in with a good episode, it was solid.
Like, at first, I was not sure if I like Ronko because she's a very stone-faced kind of one-note character, at least at first, just, she's the old maid that doesn't know how to make. She only knows how to kill.
Baba.
Yeah, old Baba. And she's good with a gun, but that's basically it.
Her ketchup art sucks.
Yeah, but she really grew on me. Like, her voice actress is amazing. And she has a really interesting backstory, and she really improved on her ketchup doodles. And yeah, the way in her in a relationship with Nagomi is so cute, and I love them.
You know, this anime actually ended up being a lot sillier than I thought it was going to be. Because anybody who's been to Akiba knows that there's fucking maids on the street. And maybe not as many as the anime makes it seem like, but, you know, you're going to pass maids that are all handing out flyers and stuff. And half the time they're out there in, like, their skirts in, like, the freezing fucking cold. It's just... And then, honestly, the whole maid cafe industry is just an utter fucking disaster, I mean, in my opinion. I mean, so you got these girls that are basically making no money, and they're out on the street giving out flyers to people who don't give a shit, and then they're freezing their asses off. And then you go upstairs to, you know, have your maid cafe experience, and it's mostly just, like, extremely mediocre, like, not even mediocre, like, terrible food. And honestly, terrible drinks, and then the prices are never reasonable, and then it's just awkward, honestly. And then, so, like, for a foreigner, I feel like maid cafes are pretty fucking awkward, and then I just feel sad for, like, the actual clientele of maid cafes, because, you know, it's just, like, really lonely guys that are just, it's basically like a strip club, you know. It's the same exact thing. Like, you keep going and spending money because you have, like, this hope and prayer that, like, somewhere deep down in the maid cafe girl's heart, she, like, loves you. Or, oh, if I just give this stripper another $5, like, she'll love me or something. And I felt like they were heading in that direction in the beginning of this anime, because they definitely, it felt like a satire on what it is to be for the maid cafe industry. But then...
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they portrayed it as a good industry. Like,
No,
it's
they
always
didn't.
shown as seedy, which I appreciate.
They didn't, and I don't even know if it's seedy in real life, but then they pivot to, like, gunning each other down and, like, basically being in the mafia, and I'm like, okay, well, this is no longer what I thought. But initially on episode 1, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be, like, some spoof satire, like, revealing, like, what it really is like to be working and going to maid cafes. Like, I would never go to a maid cafe again in Japan. But yeah, but then it just took, like,
scare you from that.
What's that?
Are you afraid they're gonna pull a gun on you? Is that why?
I'm afraid I'll spend $25 for food that's barely edible. and then
Well,
like,
I think it was very it really touched on the whole maid cafe, like what it's like and all that, with the trainer that they brought in. I think that was like episode 3 or something like that, and how they're brainwashing the characters. And at first they show it in, like, a kind of good light. I'm, like, wondering to myself, are they actually trying to make corporate brainwashing a good thing in this anime? And then they're like, no, we're going to blow up your symbolism with the bazooka and go back to the way things were.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't think it ended up quite being the spoof I thought, but I still appreciated that they did that for about 15 minutes.
It evolved from the spoof of the industry to the spoof of just the Yakuza genre and just war as a whole, and just how stupid and grudge-worthy and petty everything is. And I think, to kind of touch on Caroline's point either about liking the dynamic between Nagomi and Ranko, most of the characters, for the most part, are very one-dimensional. There's a little bit of growth across the core cast, but it's more about how they play off one another. Nagomi is, like, ever persistent, almost nagging, being like, no, we should be good maids and not kill each other. And being the voice of, like, kind of reason, but no one really listens. It's the group dynamic more than individual. Same way we have almost the character that has the most oddball is the manager, who is one of those hyper annoying incompetent types, which are like, I always hated her being on screen. But that was the point. She was not part of the team in the same way. She wasn't committed, and she, put them in bad situations. So you're supposed to not like her. But even she kind of had her come around at the end. So I liked the core crew. They were fun to watch, and you cheered for them no matter what shenanigans they got into.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think every member of the cafe was just had something likable about them, except for the manager, who's supposed to be a little bit unlikable. Like, just like the generic maid cafe girl being one of them, and then you got the Gyaru, and then you got the panda, the panda that's for some reason the mascot of a pig cafe.
You love to see it.
That does some wacky shit later and made me love this panda even more. But yeah, just overall a good group. Oh, and Zoya was really fun. I really liked her. And apparently she's voiced by a real Russian woman who knows Japanese, which is pretty incredible.
She has like an N1. She's crazy.
I mean, that's
so impressive.
There's a lot of Russian people in Japan. Well, it's probably the biggest population other than Japanese people, but
wow.
But I think
I don't expect a Russian person to be so fluent in an anime.
I don't want to make you feel sad, but like a lot of them are sex workers.
Oh.
So I know this to be fact, unfortunately. So and a lot of the times, as a foreigner in Japan, if you wanted to go to one of those places, a lot of the times they won't let you go to places that have Japanese girls. They'll only let you go to the places that have like the Russian girls or like girls from like Thailand. So I learned that a long time ago, back in the wild days.
You didn't need to know that.
I'm just giving you good context.
But I was going to say one thing I like is that the humor doesn't come from one funny person and then there's the straight man. Like every character contributes their own kind of humor, and not even in a like zany expository way. There's so much humor from little moments, like Ranko bowing in the elevator and getting crushed by the door, or the panda like hanging itself in the tire at the end when it kind of gives up hope and it's just like flopped over there. Like each character has their own little moments of just silly physical comedy, and that timing is really where the show excelled on.
Yeah. I agree.
It didn't make a joke and then everyone acknowledged the joke. It just was so quick and it got to the point, and because the show didn't dwell on it being funny and have the characters react as it's funny, that responsibility falls on the audience to like take the brunt of the humor, and it made it hit a lot harder for me. So I thought it genuinely found new ways to innovate, and I liked it.
And the music is great. I mean, the OP is one thing. It's so good. Just a mix of badassery and moe moe kyun. And the lyrics, amazing. And then we got the, of course, the famous fight music scene in the first episode. And while I don't think that there's anything else that quite hits that peak of fight and music together in the rest of the show, it's still, generally a very a good musical experience, in my opinion.
So, Mitz, you listened to the dub for part of it, I'm assuming, or were you subbed the whole way?
Yeah, I watched the dub until they ran out of them. I don't know. I don't understand the business model of High Dive. Like, this anime's been done for a while. When did this anime finish?
December 23rd.
Yeah, so it's finished 2 months ago, and they still only have like 6 episodes dubbed. I mean, like, what are you, honestly, not to bitch about High Dive again, but like, what are you paying for? I honestly have no idea. So it's like, oh, you can watch this anime dubbed half a year after it's fucking finished. It's like, okay, great.
Well, High Dive isn't exactly the biggest dubber of anime, are they?
That's
they
what they do.
Don't really have
that's what they do.
That's why they have more of a Funimation thing, isn't it?
I mean, that's why they call it. That's
why not nearly as big.
That's why they're always going dubcast, and they're fucking like,
Well, not for me.
Well, that's what they do.
Because you're doing the sub.
They're down the street. They're down the street from Sentai. Anyway, or down the hall rather. So, yeah, I mean the dub was, I don't know, it was fine, I guess.
Okay, I just asked because the subs were working overtime and trying to capture the essence of all the puns that they were throwing in, and there's just so many things that even that couldn't capture. Like instead of saying like os, they'd say like oosh for like cows, and like because they're from the cow cafe. Like there's just a lot of little things that were just puns, and that just inherently doesn't translate super well, no matter which way, into the Western text. But I
think you're right, and I think Japan loves word puns, and I think we don't.
That's their bread and
butter.
I
love a good word pun. Don't lock me in with the rest of you.
So does Pancake, but like I think a lot of people like loop them in with like dad jokes, like they don't think that like But Japanese people fucking love that shit. So I didn't pick up on a lot of puns, if that's what you're wondering, in the half of the dub.
Yeah, that's what I was getting
at. Yeah, they put a lot of them in the.
I don't know. Just a lot of weird voices, like like Ronko's voice was so flat affect. I guess that's like how she's supposed to be, but like it wasn't exactly like good to listen to. And then the Russian Zoya, I didn't even know her name was Zoya until you guys said it. And then Zoya sounds very stereotypical Russian lady, like James Bondish. I mean, everybody else is fairly normal, but I think Nagomi's voice was pretty good in English. I'm not sure who Alyssa Merrick did her.
I mean, she screams a lot because she has to react to all the absolutely batshit insane stuff that happens around her and people dying and that kind of stuff. But she is a very emotional screamer. At least the Japanese actress.
Yeah. I ask because the delivery of so much of that is crucial in a series like this. So just seeing how well it did. So, anything else you want to talk on? Any moments that you were like, wow, that was surprising or unexpected, or did the show pretty much play out as you expected?
Well, I think
as exciting.
Go ahead.
Sorry. As exciting as I thought like the last few episodes were, they have a lot of good twists and I was very engaged with it. I have a few gripes. So for one thing, at that Lady Omoy festival where they, climb to the top and they get in massive trouble for kind of disrupting the order of the creatures and all that. If they were so darn concerned with keeping order after this festival, why didn't they just disqualify Oinky Doink? Because they did cut the line and cheat. They broke the rules. It'd be easy to say, okay, they might have won, but they cheated. So it's the Dazzle Lion people, whatever. Easy way out of it. Didn't have to cause that big of an issue. And Ronko's death out of nowhere and by a nobody. Very much a banana fish like, and that's what I was referring to. Where just out of nowhere somebody stabs our main character and kills them towards the end of an anime, and it did not feel as satisfying because they've survived so much else. How did this kill them? That's
the point. It's the sins from years ago coming back to haunt them.
It's silly.
They do that in like a lot of animes. So like even way back in like I know you haven't seen Kite, so there's another jelly bean for you.
It really should be two. If you if you had seen it, one if you haven't.
Yeah, yeah. Kite is another one of those OVAs that I love because it just has short and sweet.
Looks so cool.
Very cool action. Neat. But like at the end, well, shit, this is such a spoiler for Kite. Well, it doesn't really matter. You're not watching it for the story. There isn't much of one. At the end of Kite, like you see these characters literally like having these insane gunfights. Like they would never survive. Like it's crazy shit. Like they're blowing up half a city block. And then at the end of the anime, like they're just like walking down the stairs with like a bag of groceries and someone just pops them in the side of the head and just runs off. And that's it. They die just like a dog in the street. But I think that's realistic. Like that's how, like if you want to play these fucking games where you're like gunning people down and creating millions of enemies, one day when you're having a bowl of ramen, some guy's gonna like pull a car up like outside the shop window and just machine gun you while you're eating like your fucking hard-boiled egg. Like that's just how life is. If you don't want to get fucking mowed down, don't kill people. I don't know. It's kind of.
I can see like a normal person getting killed like this, but Ronko seemed like she would have known that somebody was going to come out with a knife.
Any gangster movie, there's the big fight scene, and your characters are safe. It's when
nonetheless it's unsatisfying.
It's when they relax and you relax that they can pop you, and it hurts so good. Oh, Ronko,
I love it when it hurts.
Oh God. Okay, so another thing. I have a list.
By the time Caroline's done with this podcast, she will.
I was gushing, and now I gotta get into the nitty gritty here. Nagomi's dark period, during towards the end, where she puts on the shades. She looks so ridiculous, even though she's acting so dark. Like, her shooting that person's leg, that was great. Loved that for her. But the shades really remind you that Nagomi's still a little bit of a dork. So I like that they kind of threw that in there. But her dark period, even so, was really quick, and it had too sudden of a resolution. I'm not sure what made her, switch back. Was it just getting pummeled by other people in the street that she reminds herself, oh yeah, I'm not really a violent person? But it didn't really, it was just too fast, especially for the last episode.
It's tricky. I agree with you that it's resolved too quickly. I think the point is supposed to be we follow, the enemies, the Creatureland group invading the Maid hideout. And you're like, oh, they've got something planned. And they're all on the tip of vengeance. They all said they're going to fight to defend their honor. What are they going to do? And for her to then reverse face and be like, welcome, masters. Welcome to our cafe.
Oh, no, that was great.
For you. Then it's like, whoa. Oh, okay, she's back to herself. So it's surprising, but expected it. I don't know. I get what you're saying.
I didn't dislike how they handled that final bit, because they've had plenty of gun. They had plenty of bloody gun street fights that the climax would have just been another one of those. I feel like this was a good way to do it. It's just her going from dark to light. I feel like they were really stretching for time there. There was only they needed another episode, I felt like. And finally, on my list of gripes, the gang's turn on Nagi was also really sudden, and I don't know why Ronko's murderer would have been the one to do it. I don't know why she would have killed Nagi. I do think it would have been better served if the axolotls, the group that they played baseball with, if they were the ones. Why? Yeah, exactly. But I love it. Why wouldn't they make them the ones to turn? Because they had, while it was a very violent baseball game, they did somewhat bond over it. They carried around corpses like it was Weekend at Bernie's. It was great for them. And I feel like that would have been a much more, it would narratively made more sense to me if they did that. Because they bonded because of Nagami's insistence in playing a good baseball game, and her getting hurt in the process would have made them realize, oh yeah, she's just a nice person and we somewhat care about her, and this is a really stupid environment that we have here. So let's shoot the woman who's keeping it going. That would have made sense. And that's the end of my gripes.
My gripes are, this anime is just too all over the place. I think it's fun, I think it's silly, but the narrative is incohesive. And it doesn't. I don't think it cares particularly much about that. But it's just all over the fucking place. I mean, we basically went from boxing to birthday parties to gunfights to baseball games to it's just whatever. It's just too. I feel like it's too dumb for a large section of the viewership, and almost all of the non-anime viewership. There are some anime I'm trying to think Vinland Saga. Anybody can watch that. Anybody, any age, almost any age, but anime fan, non-anime fan, man, woman, people are gonna like Vinland Saga. This anime, if I put this down, if I put Vinland Saga in front of my dad, who's 71, he will probably like Vinland Saga. If I put him down in front of this, he is like, what the fuck kind of nonsense bullshit am I watching? So I feel like this anime is just too all over the place and just bizarre for a lot of the audience. And it's very hard to binge. Without a cohesive through line in the story, it's just tough to binge, and when it's so silly, it's kind of, for me at least, it's a little hard to continue to give it enough seriousness that I'm paying a lot of attention to what's happening into the plot line, and it's pretty tough to get through it all in one sitting. This is definitely a week-to-week watch, but yeah,
and that's fair. And I think a week-to-week watch of this would be perfect. If this was coming out every Saturday, and you and everyone just got on the voice chat and just watched another wild episode, and it was what the heck is happening? You don't really need to remember what happens from last week. You can kind of play a drinking game to it. That seems like the ideal viewing experience for this show.
And actually, I disagree.
That's
I
true.
think large variety of anime fans would enjoy this show. It's peak anime. It's just so batshit crazy. Like no other medium is gonna have something like this.
Yeah, I mean, what my point was that it's the non-anime fans that will not be able to watch this.
And sure, they're not going
Fuck
to
them. Who
like this
cares?
is not meant for them.
Fuck them.
Who cares? Like if they're not anime fans, they're not going to be watching Akiba
Anime
Maid
Addicts
War.
Anonymous podcast. But no, I get what you're saying.
I am not in love with this anime because it's fucking zany and stupid. That to me, that's a negative. So I'm not. So there are some anime fans that aren't. You know, like I can only watch like you know, I can. The fuck word. I can only watch pig people gunning down sheep people for so many fucking episodes before I'm just like,
it's
I'm like,
sheep
come
blood.
on.
Wait, no, it's okay. It's just tomato juice. Wait, that doesn't make it any better.
And then Ronko
Yeah.
tries to, I'm going to drink it all. And I'm like, no, you're not.
It's
And
not.
then
know.
the sheep climbs on Takanagami's head as she's actively drowning.
Yeah, this show is the pinnacle of. I had a fun time with it, and if someone said Mason, I just bounced off the show. I didn't really jive with it. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. It's a comedy. It's all over the place. Like it's trying to both hit a very specific niche and a lot of different targets, and of course that's going to not appeal to a ton of people, and I understand that. But
It's
I don't
not
know. I had
bad.
fun.
It's not bad. It's just
good at what it is.
it's good
And
in
it's
small
what it is,
pieces.
it's not for everyone.
And I think you're right. A drinking game would be great.
Oh, I would love to do a drinking game of this.
Don't think
But,
that just because this is drinking game a bull that you're gonna get out of, you know, doing a drinking game to Mr. Inu whatever's dog or whatever the fuck that anime is from this season.
I know it's in our future.
I am ready to score this show if you guys would like to as well.
Why don't we let Anime Satan go first? Because he's the
Ooh,
guest.
lead the way.
All right, Anime Satan, what do you think?
I'd give it about 1,200 dead Moe maid girls laying on Satan's floor out of 5. Because that's pretty much what it is.
There you go.
That's a ringing endorsement if I've ever heard one. Caroline, what do you got?
Well, I've made it no secret that I really enjoyed this show. It's just a wild array of different things that somehow works for me. A lot of good pun humor, enjoyable characters, violence. I love violence.
Do you really?
I do. I mean, if it's good, if it's a good fight scene,
Oh,
sure.
maybe you should watch
mean,
Kite.
I can do without. But I don't even know what it's about.
Kite's
I'm
got
just
better
joking.
action scenes than this anime. I
I'm
promise
just
you that
joking
much.
with you. It's
Just watch the censored version.
I just really enjoyed the vibes, and I would love a second season, though I doubt they would make one because they kind of wrapped it up by the end. A prequel following Ronko, would watch it in a heartbeat. And I do have my gripes. It's not a perfect show. I dare say it's a fun, but it's not like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So with that being said, I will give this what's a good rating? For
Wow.
trying to think I'm trying to think of their puns. 4 tong boos out of 5s. They call because that's how they say oink, isn't it? Boo.
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 I don't know. I don't. There were so many funny things in the show. I'm trying to remember what happened to them.
Caroline booing the show. Mitsuki, what do you got?
The anime's fine. Honestly, I didn't think it was bad at all. It's probably a lot of people will like this just because it's goofy and fun, and that's fine. So I tend to like things that are a little more serious. That being
Like Dark
said,
Schneider.
I mean, I don't think did I give Bastard a great score?
I don't remember.
Come on,
Probably.
come
You
on.
probably give it
Mason.
like a 3.5 or a 4.
Yeah, this is silly
Let
in
me
the
look it
same
up. Let me
way
look
that
it up.
Bastard is silly. except
You gave it a 3.5.
so there you go. I don't like this anime as much as Bastard. But this anime is not bad. It's pretty goofy. It's just hard to recommend to a lot of people. Like, I'm not going to be able to recommend this to any of my coworkers. So I do have some coworkers that do watch anime. So I'm going to give this three simping customers out of 5.
It's very fair. Yeah, I thought the show was good. Better than it had any right to be. No, it's not a masterpiece. Yes, trying to straddle the line between drama and comedy left some awkward moments where they both kind of fell flat, especially in the drama side of things. King CJR in the chat actually mentioned it kind of feels at times like you're watching a Tarantino parody. And I actually had that in my notes somewhere that I was like, yeah, it kind of felt like his nod to like past works, but also fresh and new. And it was just fun, and it had good energy, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, the visuals were a little lacking sometimes. They didn't really pop. They were never like, wow, that's a great cut. It was all just like, yeah, these characters look on model and capture the essence, but never wowed me. It's a good show. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I'm going to give it 3.5. Dream Big Go Go. What was that lady say? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I would recommend this for someone who just wants a good time without having to engage the frontal lobes all too much. So, big dumb fun for the win.
Oh, I thought of a better rating. Mm-hmm. I would give it 4 pandas dealing the death blow with a sharpened bamboo stick out of 5.
There you go. The javelin.
It was awesome.
If we ever do another Japan trip, like if Japan ever decides they're, want to have a normally functioning society again, we could probably take a group to a maid cafe. I don't know.
I have no desire to.
I can definitely see it being just as, if not more awkward than you said it was. I don't know.
It's fucking awkward.
Yeah, I don't know how many people can just pile into these places and give a straight face in the meantime.
Well, I think that's what the show does so well. It's these characters are not moe. They are trying so hard to be moe, and they're saying the things and doing the actions and acting moe, but you can see that it's not there. You aren't supposed to perceive them as that way. You see just the facade of it all in the show, and that's what I like about how it captured it. You see that they're not moe, and they are trying so hard to, and that's the tragedy of it all. It's so good.
And, well, there's so much more tragedy with, like, how Ronco was going to, run away and get married to this guy, and he got shanked by the end, and I'm like, oh, they killed the ramen man, too. Why did the heck did they kill the ramen man?
Everyone dies. And I love the scene
really
of
sucked.
Megumi, like, sad cry eating Ronco's ramen, and she's like throwing it up back into the bowl.
No, and they were like,
let
me have some. And I'm like, that's Megumi's ramen bar.
Visceral. It was sad. It was funny. It was gripping. That's like what the show was in a moment. And you got all those emotions all blended together in a juicy, salty pork broth. And it was
ooh, I love ramen.
It's so good.
And not her throw up ramen, though.
No, not throw up ramen. I'm out.
But yeah,
okay.
It was so enjoyable. This was a good one.
Yay. Thank you, listeners, for passing it. I believed in you. And does Anime Satan have any closing thoughts?
No, but I had a whole lot of fun having Anime Satan here, and I hope he feels the same.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, okay, good.
Well, that was episode 666 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, all over the place. We know you can find us there, but check out our website at aapodcast.com. That's where you can get all that sweet, sweet bonus content and contribute to that Roxanne ASMR fund. Don't forget, people. Yes. You can be the MVP. We all need you to be.
My queen.
Oh, and guess what? The next anime club, we are going to be discussing Domestic Girlfriend, everyone's favorite fiery trash.
The trash that needs a sequel badly.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And our
Yeah.
next review will be Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. So watch that if you're following along, and we will see you in 667. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.